Welcome to Hey Clarity. I'm your host, Lindsay, and today we're doing a collective Akashic Records reading for the full moon in Taurus. Before we get into the reading, I just want to let you guys know that I am back from all my book release events, and my books are open for personal Akashic Records readings. So I'll leave links to book sessions through the description box below. And I realized that it's been a year since I started doing the monthly collective readings and the new moon and full moon readings. I changed things up from just doing topics to doing some more, frequent, regular readings like monthlies and full moons and new moons. And I'm kind of curious how you guys are feeling about that. I'm missing the topics. And so I'm going to kick off a topics series on relationships. So I'm going to do an Akashic Records reading on various aspects of our relationships. So intimacy, sexuality, dating, marriage. I think I had children on that list. I put a post in there with a list of the different readings that I want to do on these topics. But I feel like it's really important, like as we're evolving, as we're having these like global challenges impacting our, relationships. I'm kind of curious to get the Akashic Records perspective on how various aspects of our relationships are evolving for us as a collective. So I'm going to do that series. If you have particular questions in any of those topics, leave them in the comment section on that last post. So, yeah, I'm excited to do topics again. I miss them. And also, I kind of want your feedback. Like, do you like the monthly readings? Do you like the new moon, full moon readings? Or would you prefer to just go back to topics or some combination of both? So, let me know what you're thinking about, those types of readings. And yeah, I'm excited to get back into doing some fun stuff. So, now, full moon in Taurus. Let's get into this reading. The questions that we're going to ask are, what is the energy of this full moon in Taurus? What has come to fruition since the corresponding new moon in Taurus? What's being illuminated? What are we releasing? What are we letting go of? And then what's the most important message we need to know? Okay, first question. What is the energy of this full moon in Taurus? There's a steadiness. We're feeling a bit of a steadiness, almost like a heartbeat. Something about our hearts are like syncing up, or there's a bit of a calm and steadiness that we're feeling that allows us to almost hear our heartbeats, like have this syncing of our heartbeats. There's this like, oh my, like there's this really they're saying like this obvious like current in our heartbeats. This is some of the love stuff. So they've been like in multiple collective readings, they've been talking about this, like our love, like really coming online, like really, really impacting us, our love for each other, our friends, our family, partners, like love is really coming online. So they're just like heartbeats sync. Like our heartbeats are starting to sync. Like we're starting to like really connect with each other, these deeper connections. So this energy of the full moon might be like the realization and the revelations of like they're showing the lovers in tarot, like our unions, our relationships, these like golden relationships, gold people, these like warm-hearted, generous, regenerative, I'm getting like generation, regeneration, like the people who feed and fuel us. Like we're coming online for each other and finding each other. We're syncing on like a heartbeat level. And that's also a more like in touch syncing with, they're saying like the elements of like the earth. So it's like there's like the electromagnetic field of the earth and the pulse of the earth and the core of the earth. Like they're just like showing the vibrations of the planet and human nature in relationship to that, and like love being our true human nature. I love that. So it's all coming online. There's a lot more love. And for some of us, it could kind of catch us off guard in like a really nice way. What has come to fruition under this full moon in Taurus? What has come to fruition since the corresponding new moon in Taurus? The relationships that have been unfolding or falling away. I'm seeing relationships falling away, and that's okay, and like everything's okay, and like the hardest parts, like it's over, like the hardest emotional and mental stress of those relationships, they're saying dwindling, like we have released them or let them go, or we're letting them go, and it's less painful. Like we've gotten through like the hardest part of the like emotional turmoil of releasing and letting go, and maybe holding on, right? Like maybe the way that we grip onto those connections that we're not ready to let go of. But there's more of an acceptance and an allowance on like a deeper level, that even if we're grieving the losses of these connections, there's a little more ease. And part of that ease is also, the grief being followed by loving relationships. So like the loving relationships that are coming in, the loving people that are in our orbit, eases the grief of those losses, if we have them. If we had to leave people behind or let them go, or if they've let us go, whatever it is. I'm just getting that like there's more ease. Anything else? What has come to fruition? Yeah, just the falling away. Kind of like the natural order of things. Like the chaos of it all subsides. What's being illuminated for us under this full moon in Taurus? They're like falling in love for each other, falling in love with each other. There's something about misunderstand. For some of us, we might be trying to figure out what this love means. What is this love? What is this love of a deeper connection? Is it romantic? Is it platonic? Because sometimes when something is so genuine and authentic and true and meaningful and deep, we're not really sure like where to file it, like what kind of love is this? And then trying to figure out what that means. So it's almost like there's like this new type of relationship to love for each other, where we might not have the words or the answers. We might not be super clear about what this love is. Who is this person to me? So I'm getting like the example of like falling in love with your friends and trying to figure out if it's, platonic or romantic, like how serious it is. And us trying to navigate, like, does it matter? Does it not matter? Like, we're just having very strong feelings of love. And it might take some time to like figure out in what ways we are feeling those feelings. But they're also saying, while you're kind of reflecting on what it means or like how to direct it, kind of like accordingly or appropriately, we're reflecting on, they're saying ourselves and like our capacity to love more. And because we're loving more, there's just so much love for each other. Like it just feels like a lot. And they're like, it can get messy. And also, like, can you trust in the messiness to kind of let things fall where they may? Because, like, true, real love will be ultimately understanding and forgiving, if mistakes happen, like misplaced affection for someone. It just feels very much like we can get really caught up in these feelings for each other. And it is like very important to like be clear and to be centered in ourselves. And we might be a little all over the place with our feelings for a little while we figure out like what exactly is going on. Like I almost feel like there's like this flood of loving energy like globally on the planet. And if we're all like falling in love with each other, like what does it mean? So like take your time and also kind of understand that like time will tell what those relationships are or become. So interesting. So maybe this is why also I'm feeling that like inspiration to do all of these readings on relationships, because there's such an evolution of our relationships and like humanity in general and like how we connect with each other. So like I'm getting like it's very aligned, like it's very timely to want to talk about this. Like where are we going? Where have we come from? What are all the different ways that we can love each other now? Because sometimes it can be just like so like complex and layered and confusing. So they're just kind of circling back to like there could be like a lot of misunderstandings, but like just trust that like ultimately true real love will like figure it out and allow whatever comes out to come out, and there will just be so much understanding, and there's forgiveness that mistakes happen, and then yeah, it's just like that kind of love like lasts forever in like whatever iteration it needs to take from like beginning and like as things go on. It's really sweet. What's being released? What are we releasing? What are we letting go of under this full moon in Taurus? The need to know, trying to figure it all out right now. They're like, time will tell, like it always does. And they're like, there's something about our feeling of like time is running out. So the way that we like freak out and worry about our timelines and time frames of things and our deadlines and our ages and all these things, they're like, they just showed me like an hourglass with sand, falling through it, and they just shattered the hourglass and there's just sand all over the place. Like they're like, you're all these grains of sand and you're all over, you are everyone, everything, everywhere. Like you're not confined to this hourglass. We worry so much about our ages and our conditioning in society of like, when I'm this age, I need to be this. And it feels like it's around like, relationships. This is a big relationship reading, our connections to each other. And they just keep saying time will tell. And like, you're always on the right timeline. And there is no like set concrete timeline. It's all over the place. And they're asking like, they're like all over, like, can you live in that? And they're like, we understand that there are certain biological limitations depending on the things that you want and you desire in your life, that come with age and are biological. But they're like, there are other ways that these wants and these desires can come to fruition, fulfillment, satisfaction in your life if you let them come as they want to come. They're like, come as you are, come what may, come as it may come into your life. That like the things that you really want and desire will like magnetize like in your orbit, in they're kind of like in the way that they need to come in. But they really want us to not feel so like pressured and rushed, because it's very important to have these like true, real, right relationships with people and to like do it right. So yeah, they're like real relationships like take time. Like you have to get to know each other. And you might have different iterations of your relationships over time. It's like friends become lovers, become friends. Friends become lovers, become family. Like there's just all these different like iterations that it can take, and it can, go into deep reunion, then it can separate and it can come back. Like we do this in our relationships throughout like lifetimes. Come together, we go apart, we come together, we go apart. And to kind of be a little more open to like the cycle of like, what's feeling right, what's feeling good. And also like being in truth and trust. Like we all want trust. We all want truth in our relationships. So we have to like be that. We have to do that. We have to give that to ourselves, and we have to give that to each other. And that takes time, that takes bravery, that takes courage, that takes strength, to be honest, to be true, to know who you are. And to also know that like we're ever evolving and we're growing and we're changing and we're learning, and we're learning things like all the time. So in that regard, like if we're all like ever evolving and ever flowing, our relationships are also ever evolving, ever flowing, and ever changing. So that requires like patience and allowance and acceptance and forgiveness at different times. But again, this like heartbeat that's come online is like lasting love, like forever love, like lifetimes, beyond lifetimes love for each other. And so if you're playing that long game outside of a single lifetime, they're kind of like what does that mean to you? Like, is that special to you? Is that important to you? Because that there are no timelines, there are no deadlines and timelines for things like that. So to not have pressure on your relationships to have it figured out. They're like marriage, kids. They're like, we get it, like biological. But also like there are many ways that these things can come into your life. That the fulfillment of like what's at the core of why you want that can come in many different forms, in many different ways. So be open to the possibilities and not just like the conditioning of like society and tradition and what you think, how you think things should be. They said time will tell. And they broke the hourglass again. Okay. What's the most important message we need to know about the full moon in Taurus? What's the most important message? They're like heartbeats conflicted. We could have such an overflowing of love that we're like, we really don't know what to do with ourselves. We really don't know what to do with it. For some of us, this could be quite overwhelming, like this overflowing of love. Like I mean, even the way like I was breathing, like I even feel like what am I gonna do with this? Like my heart is beating so fast. My heart is beating out of my chest. Like I want to do something about this. I don't know what to do. Like I don't know what to say. You know, there's excitement, you know. I'm seeing like little kids just like loving something so much. Like we're like little kids, like lit up, jumping up and down, like super excited. Like I just want to love you. Like I just want to be your best friend. And like whatever capacity that is in the connection, we're getting like really excited, like genuinely from our heart space. It's very heart centered. And so, what does that look like? How are you going to communicate your feelings? How are you going to get clear about your feelings and the connection and communicate that? Like, they're like, as best you can. And some of it, it's just, we could just be very overwhelmed with these overflowing feelings of love for each other. And they're like, and that's a good thing. That's a sweet thing. It's a great problem to have. It's a great problem to have that you just like love people so much. It's not a problem. Anything else? What's the most important message? They're like, we could just be overwhelmed by the overflowing of love. And they want us to get used to it. They want us to step into this. They want us to really embrace and embody being loving human beings because love is our nature. That is human nature. Okay. That's very nice. I really like this full moon in Taurus for us. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know how that's landing for you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.